Here's a video, y'all. This is about somebody. Look, they know what the fuck you did to Divine Feminine or to me or whoever this is, and they're taking all of this evidence against you to court, and the authorities is going to prosecute you, and you're going to have to pay punitive damage, and possibly some people going to go to jail. So whatever your party is what your party is. We're going to play this video and we're going to put it on out there. I'm the Sacred Magical High Chief Priestess of the Most High God. Come to give it to you real and raw, and I ain't going to sugarcoat shit. We're going to listen to this video, whatever you want to do. Get your popcorn, peanuts, or you can just listen to the video and know what's your outcome going to be. Whether you're on the good side or the bad side. This is what it is.
Chosen ones. Somebody just walked into a building with a brown briefcase full of evidence, and inside that briefcase is every single thing that was stolen from you, documented with dates, times, and receipts that will make your jaw drop. The authorities have been contacted, the investigation is already underway, and the person who built their entire empire on your stolen energy has no idea that their game is about to end in the most spectacular fashion. Right now, as you're hearing these words, there's a whistleblower marching toward the truth with determination in their eyes and justice in their heart. They know everything. They've seen everything. And they're done watching you suffer while someone else profits from your light. Feel that pressure in the atmosphere right now. That's not just any pressure. That's the sound of a timeline shifting, a reality cracking, a false kingdom built on plagiarism and theft about to implode. The person who's been stealing from you woke up this morning with their ears ringing, a strange tightness in their chest, and an unexplainable sense of doom. They can feel something coming, but they can't identify what. Like animals before an earthquake, their body knows destruction approaches even if their mind hasn't caught up yet. The universe has been keeping receipts this entire time, and payment is due. Let me paint you the full picture of what's actually happening behind the scenes right now. Because this story is so much bigger than you've been allowed to see. For months, maybe even years, you felt like something was off. Success would get close enough to taste, then mysteriously slip away. Your ideas would appear in someone else's mouth. Your creative works would manifest through someone else's platform. You'd speak something into existence on Monday, and by Friday, someone else was getting praised for it. You weren't imagining things. You weren't being paranoid. Someone has literally been running a full operation based on harvesting your energy and selling it as their own. But here's where the story gets delicious. While you were in your hermit phase, while you were questioning your sanity, while you were wondering why everything felt so hard, the universe was setting up the most elaborate sting operation in spiritual history. Every single time this person stole from you, it was being recorded in the cosmic records. Every instance of theft, every moment of plagiarism, every energy harvest was creating a paper trail that would eventually lead to their complete destruction. The universe was giving them rope, and they used every inch of it to hang themselves. The person with the briefcase, this whistleblower who's about to blow everything wide open, used to be on their side. Picture someone who was deep in the inner circle, someone who this thief trusted completely. Maybe it's a family member who finally grew a conscience. Maybe it's a business partner who realized they were participating in fraud. Maybe it's someone who was receiving the stolen goods and suddenly recognized your energy signature all over it. This person has been watching the thief operate for a long time, getting sicker by the day as they witnessed the extent of the deception. At first, this insider tried to rationalize what they were seeing. They told themselves maybe it was just inspiration, maybe it was coincidence, maybe great minds just think alike. But as time went on, the evidence became undeniable. They watched this person study your content, analyze your patterns, decode your creative DNA, and then reproduce it with just enough changes to avoid obvious detection. They witnessed the systematic theft of not just your ideas, but your entire energetic blueprint, and something inside them snapped. The transformation of this whistleblower is a story within itself. They started documenting everything secretly. Screenshots of conversations where the thief explicitly discussed taking your work, recordings of meetings where strategies were planned to harvest your energy, financial records showing income generated from your stolen creations, dates and times when your original content was posted versus when their copied version appeared. They built a case so airtight that no amount of denial could refute it, and they did it all while maintaining their position in the inner circle, playing their role perfectly while gathering evidence that would destroy the entire operation. The fascinating part about this whistleblower's journey is how the universe protected them while they gathered evidence. Every time the thief might have discovered what they were doing, something would distract them. A sudden crisis here, an unexpected opportunity there, always something pulling their attention away from the spy in their midst. The whistleblower themselves started noticing these divine interventions, these perfectly timed distractions that allowed them to continue their documentation undetected. They began to understand they weren't just acting on their own conscience anymore. They were being guided, protected, and empowered by forces much bigger than themselves. Your spiritual team was working through them, using them as an instrument of divine justice. Every file they saved, every screenshot they captured, every piece of evidence they secured was being divinely orchestrated. They became, without fully understanding it, an agent of cosmic law enforcement. What triggered them to finally act? There was a moment, a specific incident, that pushed them over the edge. They watched the thief receive recognition, maybe an award or a major opportunity, for something that was blatantly stolen from you. The audacity of it, the shamelessness, the complete lack of conscience, it activated something primal in this whistleblower. They realized they were watching a crime in progress, and their continued silence made them an accomplice. That's when they made the decision that would change everything. But it wasn't just moral outrage that motivated them. They started having dreams about you, seeing your face in their meditations, feeling your energy calling out for justice. They would wake up with your name on their lips, even if they'd never met you directly. The spiritual pressure became unbearable. They couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't find peace until they took action. The universe made their comfort impossible until they chose justice over complicity. Now let's talk about the scope of what was actually stolen from you, because it goes so much deeper than you know. This wasn't just someone borrowing your ideas or being inspired by your style. This was systematic identity theft on a spiritual and material level. They studied everything about you, your communication patterns, your creative process, your unique perspective on the world. They analyzed how you transform pain into power, how you alchemize trauma into triumph. Then they created an entire business model around replicating your frequency. But here's what they didn't understand. They could copy your words, but they couldn't capture your essence. They could mimic your methods, but they couldn't manufacture your magic. They got the notes but missed the music. They stole the recipe but lacked the secret ingredient that is your unique soul signature. This is why their version always felt hollow to those with true discernment. It's why people with high spiritual awareness always felt something was off about them, even if they couldn't articulate what. The financial element is staggering. While you were struggling to pay bills, wondering why abundance kept eluding you, they were generating significant income from your stolen essence. They positioned themselves as a thought leader using your thoughts. They became an influencer using your influence. They built a reputation for innovation using your innovations. But here's the cosmic joke. Every dollar they made from your energy created a debt in the spiritual accounting system that must be paid back with interest. The universe operates on mathematical precision when it comes to energy exchange. They didn't just steal your ideas, they stole the prosperity that was meant to flow to you from those ideas. Every opportunity that came to them through your stolen work, every connection they made, every platform they accessed, all of it was recorded as debt in the cosmic ledger. And now the universe is calling in that debt with compound interest that has been accumulating since the first moment of theft. Think about this for a moment. They had to work incredibly hard to maintain this deception. The amount of energy they expended trying to replicate what comes naturally to you. The stress of always looking over their shoulder, wondering when they'd be caught. The exhaustion of maintaining a false persona built on someone else's authenticity. While you thought you were suffering, they were trapped in a prison of their own making, and the walls have been closing in for longer than they realize. They've been taking stimulants to maintain the fake energy they project. They've been using substances to quiet the voice of their conscience. They've been engaging in increasingly desperate spiritual practices trying to maintain access to your energy field. But nothing works anymore. The well has run dry, the source has been cut off, and they're experiencing withdrawal symptoms from your energy that are driving them to the edge of madness. The universe has been playing a long game here, and the breadcrumbs have been laid out perfectly. Remember certain dates that felt significant to you. Early August, perhaps, when you felt a sudden shift in your energy. That was the moment the cosmic firewall was installed around you. The universe cut off their access to your energy source, and they've been scrambling ever since. Their work quality dropped. Their creativity dried up. The people who once gathered around them started noticing something was off. That August shift was actually a massive spiritual upgrade for you. Your DNA was literally recoded to operate at a frequency they can never access again. It's like you changed the locks on your spiritual house, upgraded your security system, and installed energetic cameras that record anyone who even attempts to breach your field. You might have felt dizzy, experienced timeline jumps, or had moments where reality felt unstable. That was your entire energetic system being revolutionized to make you untouchable. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it and discover they're not alone in this experience of spiritual theft and divine vindication. The list of people who've been unknowingly benefiting from your stolen energy is longer than you think. The thief wasn't just keeping everything for themselves. They were distributing your essence to others, playing the role of a generous benefactor while dealing in stolen spiritual goods. These people thought they were receiving genuine mentorship, authentic insights, and original strategies. They had no idea they were receiving laundered energy, stolen creativity, packaged as original thought. Some of these people are having visceral reactions now, physical symptoms they can't explain, sudden anxiety when they think about the thief, an inexplicable urge to distance themselves. Their bodies are rejecting the stolen energy like an organ transplant that's incompatible. The universe is literally making them allergic to the thief's presence because the frequency of deception is becoming physically intolerable to anyone with a functioning conscience. But now something interesting is happening. These people are starting to have dreams about you. They're seeing your face in meditations. They're feeling an inexplicable pull toward your actual work. The universe is creating a magnetic reversal where everyone who received your stolen energy is being unconsciously drawn back to the source. They don't understand why they suddenly feel disconnected from the thief, why the magic seems to have disappeared, why what once felt inspiring now feels hollow. There's one person in particular who received a lot of your stolen energy, and they're having a complete spiritual awakening right now. They're realizing that everything they thought they knew, everything they thought they learned from the thief, actually came from you. The recognition is hitting them like lightning bolts of clarity. They're going through their notes, their recordings, their memories, and seeing your energetic fingerprint on everything. This person is about to become another key witness in your vindication. One by one, they're pulling away. Not dramatically, not with confrontation, but with a quiet knowing that something isn't right. The thief is watching their carefully constructed network dissolve like sugar in rain. The empire they built on the foundation of your stolen dreams is crumbling, and they can't figure out how to stop it, because they never had the blueprint for authentic creation in the first place. The thief is trying everything now. They're attempting new strategies to reconnect with your energy field. They're performing desperate rituals at 3 in the morning, the time when they used to successfully breach your spiritual boundaries. They're even trying to send others to spy on you, to get close to you, to create new pipelines for energy extraction. But every attempt is failing spectacularly. The universe has placed you under protection so absolute that their efforts are actually comical. Let me tell you about the legal implications that are about to unfold, because this isn't just spiritual warfare anymore. This has crossed into material fraud, intellectual property theft, and criminal impersonation. The documentation that's been gathered shows a clear pattern of deliberate deception. We're talking about someone who potentially built multiple revenue streams, possibly even registered businesses, entirely based on your stolen intellectual and spiritual property. The authorities being contacted aren't just metaphorical spiritual forces. There are actual legal entities getting involved. The whistleblower knew exactly where to take this information for the maximum impact. They understood that spiritual violation becomes material crime when money changes hands based on deception. Every workshop they taught using your methods, every product they sold containing your ideas, every consultation they gave channeling your wisdom, it's all documented, all traceable, all legally actionable. The paper trail is extraordinary. Bank records showing deposits that coincide with their theft of your work, email chains discussing how to repackage your ideas, contract agreements based on stolen intellectual property, copyright registrations for work that originated in your consciousness. The level of evidence is so overwhelming that prosecutors are actually excited about this case. It's going to set precedent for how spiritual and creative theft is prosecuted in the future. But here's where it gets even more intense. The investigation has uncovered connections and patterns that reveal this wasn't their first victim. You're part of a larger pattern of spiritual theft and energetic vampirism. However, you're the one who's going to bring the whole house of cards down. Your situation is the linchpin that exposes the entire operation. The universe chose you to be the instrument of justice, not just for yourself but for others who've been violated by this predator. The other victims are starting to come forward now. People who stayed silent out of fear, embarrassment, or gaslighting are finding their voices. Your situation is giving them courage. They're seeing that justice is possible, that they're not crazy, that what happened to them was real and wrong. The thief is about to face not just one accusation, but an avalanche of truth from multiple sources, all corroborating the same pattern of behavior. The timeline is accelerating now. Winter holds special significance because that's when the full revelation happens, but between now and then, you're going to see preliminary shockwaves. Strange synchronicities where people suddenly recognize your work as familiar, even though they've never encountered you directly. Unexpected messages from strangers saying they had a dream about you, or felt compelled to find you. These are the early signs of your energy returning home, bringing with it everyone who was touched by it, even in its stolen form. The winter revelation is connected to a specific date that keeps appearing in the cosmic records. December holds a particular significance, possibly around the winter solstice when the veil is thinnest and truth can no longer be hidden. The thief actually did a ritual last winter, trying to cement their theft and make it permanent. They thought they were sealing their success, but they were actually setting the timer for their own destruction. What they bound in darkness is about to be exposed in light. There's an offer coming your way that seems impossible, almost laughable in its grandness. Someone with real power and influence has been watching this entire situation unfold. They've had their suspicions about the thief for a while, and when the truth comes out, they're going to approach you directly. This person operates in the exact industry or space where the thief was trying to establish dominance. The opportunity they're going to present to you is precisely what the thief was desperately trying to manifest for themselves. This benefactor has actually been protected from the thief's influence by their own spiritual team. Every time the thief tried to get close to them, something would prevent it. A scheduling conflict, a missed email, a sudden change of plans. The universe was saving this connection for you, the rightful owner of the energy that attracted this opportunity in the first place. When you meet this person, they're going to tell you they feel like they've been waiting for you their whole life. The poetic justice is breathtaking. Everything the thief thought they were building for themselves was actually being constructed for you. Every connection they made, every door they opened, every platform they built, it was all part of a divine setup. They were unknowingly preparing your palace while thinking they were building their empire. The universe used their greed and ambition as tools to create your launching pad. The specific opportunity coming your way is going to utilize every single gift that was stolen from you. It's going to require your authentic voice, your original ideas, your unique perspective. The thief could never have fulfilled this role because they lacked the genuine essence required. This opportunity was literally created for you, around you, and it's been waiting for you to be ready to receive it. The theft, as painful as it was, actually prepared you for this level of success. Now let's talk about what's happening to them on a spiritual level right now. The protection they thought they had, the spiritual forces they thought were backing them, have all withdrawn. They're experiencing what can only be described as a complete reversal of fortune. Every spell they cast to bind your success has snapped back on them like a rubber band. Every ritual they perform to harvest your energy has created a vacuum that's now draining them. Every attempt to spiritually suppress you has become their own prison. Their spiritual guides have abandoned them. The entities they were working with have turned on them. The ancestors they called upon are disgusted by their actions. They're spiritually alone for the first time in their life, and the silence is deafening. They keep trying to meditate, to connect, to channel, but all they get is static. The spiritual realm has essentially put them on a cosmic blacklist. They're waking up at 3 in the morning covered in sweat, with an inexplicable sense of dread. Their meditation practice, which used to be where they would tap into your energy field, now feels like static. Their intuition, which was actually your stolen insight, has gone dark. They're operating blind for the first time, and the panic is setting in. They keep pulling tarot cards trying to understand what's happening, but every reading shows defeat, exposure, and justice. The physical symptoms they're experiencing are intense, ringing in their ears that won't stop, representing the alarm bells of karmic justice. Pressure in their head like something's about to explode, which is exactly what's happening to their false reality. A tightness in their throat, because the truth they've been suppressing is about to be forcefully expelled. Their body is betraying them because it can no longer hold the weight of such massive deception. They're aging rapidly. The stress of maintaining the deception without your energy to sustain them is taking a massive physical toll. People who haven't seen them in a while are shocked by their appearance. The vitality they once projected, which was actually your life force, has drained away, leaving them looking hollow, exhausted, depleted. They're trying everything to restore their appearance, but nothing works because the glow they had was never theirs to begin with. Meanwhile, your body is experiencing the opposite. That exhaustion you've been carrying is starting to lift. The brain fog is clearing. Your creative channels are opening wider than they've ever been. You're downloading ideas at a rate that almost feels overwhelming. This is your energy returning to you, cleaned and amplified by its journey. Every piece of yourself that was stolen is coming back stronger, purer, more powerful than when it left. People are starting to notice a change in you. There's a light in your eyes that wasn't there before, a confidence in your walk, an authority in your voice. You're becoming magnetic in a way that surprises even you. This isn't new energy you're receiving. This is your original power returning home after being refined through the fire of injustice. You're not becoming someone new. You're being restored to who you always were. The public nature of what's about to unfold is something they never anticipated. They thought if they were ever caught, it would be a private matter they could handle quietly. Maybe pay you off, maybe gaslight you into backing down, maybe use their influence to suppress the truth. But the universe has orchestrated this to be undeniably public. The same platforms where they showcased your stolen work will be the stages for their downfall. The same audiences who applauded them for your ideas will witness the truth being revealed. The exposure is going to happen in waves. First, a small crack in their facade that only a few people notice. Then larger revelations that can't be ignored. Finally, a complete collapse that becomes impossible to deny or spin. They're going to try damage control, but every attempt to explain or justify will only dig them deeper. The universe has made it so that the truth is the only thing that will stick. Imagine the sweetness of this vindication, not because you fought for it, not because you exposed them yourself, but because the truth became so undeniable that it exposed itself. Your name is about to be cleared in ways you didn't even know it needed clearing. People who dismissed your concerns, who maybe even participated in making you feel crazy for sensing the theft, are going to have to face the reality that you were right all along. Some of these people who doubted you are already starting to have uncomfortable realizations. They're remembering conversations where you tried to tell them something was wrong. They're recalling moments when they dismissed your intuition. The guilt is starting to creep in, and they're preparing apologies that you never asked for but deserve to receive. Their validation, which once seemed so important, will feel hollow compared to the cosmic validation you're receiving. The restoration coming your way transcends simple justice. This is about the universe demonstrating that stealing from a chosen one is the highest form of spiritual stupidity. Every moment of suffering you experienced is being tabulated into blessings. Every tear you cried is being converted into triumph. Every night you spent wondering what was wrong with you is being transformed into rocket fuel for your ascension. The financial restoration alone is going to shock you. We're not talking about recovering what was stolen. We're talking about receiving compensation that reflects not just the theft, but the opportunity cost, the emotional damage, the spiritual violation, and the compound interest on all of it. The universe is about to show you what exponential justice looks like. Money is going to flow to you from directions you never expected, in amounts that make the thief's stolen gains look like pocket change. The winter revelation isn't just going to be significant, it's going to be revolutionary. The offer coming your way will be so perfectly aligned with your true purpose that you'll understand why everything had to happen exactly as it did. You'll see how the theft actually protected you from premature exposure, how the delay actually prepared you for a level of success you wouldn't have been ready for earlier. The universe was using your enemy as an unwitting personal trainer, preparing you for the heavyweight championship of your destiny. Let's talk about the spiritual witnesses to this divine justice. Your ancestors are actively participating in this vindication.
I know
They've been working behind the scenes, influencing situations, opening doors, placing the right people in the right positions. The whistleblower didn't just decide on their own to come forward. They were pushed by forces they don't even fully understand. Your spiritual team has been orchestrating this takedown with military precision. The angelic realm is particularly invested in your vindication. There are specific angels assigned to justice and truth who have taken your case personally. They're the ones ensuring that every piece of evidence surfaces at exactly the right time. They're the ones protecting the whistleblower from discovery. They're the ones making sure that the truth cannot be suppressed, twisted, or buried. Your vindication is their mission, and they don't fail. The numbers are significant too. 333 has been following you, because this is about communication, truth, and divine intervention.
Yes, that number. I seen that number today, just before I came in.
This isn't just about personal justice. It's about establishing a spiritual precedent. What happens to people who steal from the divinely appointed? They become examples of what not to do. Their downfall becomes a cautionary tale that protects other chosen ones from similar violations.
Look at all them unicorns.
As we approach the climax of this cosmic drama, understand that the person who stole from you is completely unaware of what's about to hit them. They're still operating under the illusion that they've gotten away with it. They might even be planning their next move, their next theft, their next deception. They have no idea that the whistleblower has already delivered the briefcase. They don't know the authorities are already building the case. They're about to be blindsided by justice in a way that will leave them absolutely speechless. The moment of revelation is going to be cinematic. They'll receive the notice, the summons, the call that changes everything, and their entire world will stop. The color will drain from their face. Their hands will shake. Their voices will crack. All the confidence they projected, all the authority they claimed, will evaporate in an instant. They'll realize at that moment that the game is over, that their house of cards has collapsed, that there's no escape from the consequences they've created. The confrontation, when it comes, won't be what anyone expects. This isn't going to be a dramatic face-to-face showdown. It's going to be a systematic dismantling of everything they built on lies. One day they'll wake up and find their entire operation frozen. Their accounts are under investigation, their reputation in shambles, their network evaporated. And the most beautiful part, they won't be able to say a word in their defense because the evidence is overwhelming. The witnesses are coming out of the woodwork now. People who saw things but stayed quiet. Others who suspected but had no proof. Individuals who were threatened into silence. They're all finding their voices simultaneously, creating a chorus of truth that cannot be silenced. The thief thought they had everyone under control, but fear-based loyalty evaporates the moment. Consequences become real. Your vindication is going to inspire a movement. Other chosen ones who've experienced similar theft are going to see your situation and realize they're not crazy. They're going to understand that spiritual plagiarism is real, that energetic theft happens, and that justice is possible. You're becoming a lighthouse for others who've been gaslit into believing their experiences weren't valid. The ripple effect of your justice is going to transform entire industries. The spiritual community, the creative world, the entrepreneurial space, wherever this theft occurred, standards are about to change. New protections will be put in place. New consequences will be established. Your case is going to make it harder for energy vampires to operate. You're not just getting justice for yourself, you're changing the game for everyone who comes after you. But beyond the material restoration, there's something even more valuable happening. You're getting your story back. Your narrative, which was hijacked and rewritten with someone else as the protagonist, is being restored to its rightful owner. The truth of who you are, what you've created, and what you're capable of is about to be undeniable. No one will ever be able to question your authenticity again. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random, and if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity, and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. The beauty is you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today, and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. As we reach the resolution of this divine drama, let's return to that pressure you're feeling in the atmosphere. That sensation is like something's about to pop. That's not anxiety, that's anticipation. The universe is holding its breath before the big reveal. The cosmic champagne bottle has been shaken, and the cork is about to fly. But this time, when it pops, it's not going to hurt you. It's going to be a celebration of your complete and total vindication. The whistleblower has delivered the evidence. The authorities have everything they need. The investigation is not just underway, it's reaching its conclusion. The person who stole from you is about to experience the full weight of cosmic justice. Their empire built on your stolen dreams is crumbling. Their reputation constructed from your plagiarized thoughts is dissolving. Their entire identity, which was just a poor imitation of your authentic self, is being exposed as the fraud it always was. Winter will mark your complete transformation from victim to victor. But you were never really a victim, were you? You were always the hero of this story, temporarily allowing the villain to think they had won so that the victory would be even sweeter. Every moment of this journey, even the painful parts, was perfectly orchestrated for your highest good. The thief thought they were stealing your light, but they were actually polishing your crown. The authorities have the receipts, every single one. Documentation is so thorough that denial is impossible. Evidence so clear that gaslighting won't work. Proof so undeniable that even those who wanted to side with the thief will have no choice but to acknowledge the truth. This isn't just about proving what they did to you. It's about establishing a new paradigm where spiritual theft is recognized, validated, and punished. Your personal best isn't just coming. It's here. That timeline shift you've been feeling. It's not a shift. It's a complete reality upgrade. You're moving from the timeline where you were robbed to the timeline where you're restored, celebrated, and elevated beyond anything the thief could have imagined. They tried to steal your destiny, not understanding that a chosen one's destiny cannot be stolen, only delayed, and the delay is over. The briefcase has been delivered, the evidence has been submitted, the case has been built. Justice is not coming, justice is here. The person who built their house on the foundation of your stolen dreams is about to watch it all come crashing down, while you rise from the ashes of their deception like a phoenix who was never truly burned, only refined by the fire. Chosen one, your vindication season has officially begun. The receipts are in hand. The authorities have been notified. The truth is out, and your complete restoration is not a matter of if, but now. The pressure you've been feeling is about to release in the most magnificent explosion of justice, restoration and elevation this universe has seen. The champagne cork of cosmic justice is popping, and this time, it's spraying blessings all over your divinely protected life. The thief thought they were writing your ending, but they were only writing the introduction to your greatest chapter. The authorities have all the receipts on what this person did to you, and they're not just taking it to court, they're taking it all the way to cosmic completion.
I was born with...
This is going to be the end of the video. All right, the end of the video. So there it is. Okay, and I got this other important one I need to upload. I keep getting good videos, so I uploaded that, but this other one is coming too. Okay, let me make sure that this is over with. I paused it. Yeah, that's over with. Okay, let me pause it. It says God has spoken. Judgment is ensuing ensuing over the wicked. This cult, you can't be stopped. Talking about the cult group is wicked, but divine feminine, divine masculine, you can't be stopped. You can't be stopped, but they wicked. Okay, I'm gonna let it play.
God has spoken. Judgment is ensuing over the wicked, and this cult. You can't be stopped. You were called, and instantly, everything became clear. A cult that's been soul-trapping and soul-binding chosen vessels is being exposed, dismantled, and judged in real time. The enemy saw your calling long before you did, and their fear made them form an alliance built on deception and stolen power. But their system is crumbling. Chosen one, what's happening isn't chaos, it's justice. You weren't just protected, you were positioned. The attacks proved your anointing. The verdict, you win. Always. Now watch how this connects to you. You carry that same pure essence, that same untapped spiritual power. But you are not a child. You are a fully activated spiritual warrior with bloodline gifts beyond comprehension. So when rituals were attempted on you, when soul-binding ceremonies were performed, when the strongest practitioners were sent after your energy, something unprecedented happened. Nothing worked, and that is when the report came back. The practitioner hired, the root worker paid, whoever was doing the spiritual dirty work, that person came back with information that changed everything. The report said you are a spiritual leader, you carry ancestral protection, you are covered by archangels, you have unique DNA that makes you immune to their attacks. You are a seraphim in human form, operating with divine authority that outranks their entire cult combined. The practitioner told them to stop, warned them that coming after you would bring catastrophic consequences. And here is the part that shows you exactly who you are dealing with. The warning was ignored. Arrogance was that deep. So doubling down happened. More rituals were performed. Sex rituals, full moon ceremonies. More people got involved. Your karmic ex was working with them. Family members, possibly a sibling, were feeding information. Friends you trusted were gathering intelligence. This was coordinated. This was organized. This was a full cult operation designed to break you, bind you, and steal everything heaven assigned to you. And chosen one, every single attempt failed spectacularly. But here is what you need to understand about that failure. It was not passive. It was not like spells just fizzled out into nothing. No. Every curse sent your way boomeranged back and hit the sender with multiplied force. Every ritual performed to trap you actually bound them instead. Every hex crafted became a snare stepped into by its creator. This is spiritual law. This is how the universe self-corrects when wickedness tries to consume righteousness. And now, right now as you are reading this, the harvest of seeds planted in darkness is being experienced. Let me show you what is happening to this organization. Catastrophic damages, that phrase kept coming through in my spirit. Severe and widespread destruction that poses serious risk to human life. This cult is falling apart. People are dropping like flies. I sensed that phrase multiple times. Dropping like flies, heart attacks, car wrecks, sudden illnesses that doctors cannot explain. And it is not random. It is precise. It is targeted. It is divine judgment, executing with perfect accuracy. Those who performed rituals on Halloween, those specific ceremonies are now manifesting as personal nightmares. Those who poisoned your food or your drink are now experiencing poisoning in their own bodies. Those who tried to cause car accidents for you are the ones getting into catastrophic wrecks. You healed from poison that would have killed anyone else. Your unique DNA processed what should have destroyed you and turned it into strength. That thing put in your food, that energy sent to your cup, it did not work because your cellular structure operates on frequencies beyond their access. You are built different, chosen one. Not metaphorically, literally. Your spiritual immune system is reinforced by ancestral codes, by angelic protection, by divine grace that rewrites curses into blessings before contact can even be made. But attempts kept coming, and this is where the desperation becomes visible. Time is running out for them. I sense that phrase clear as day, running out of time, because you are ascending. You are leveling up. You transformed from someone manipulation seemed possible on, into a high priestess or high priest, into a divine powerhouse, into a spiritual leader operating with authority that threatens their entire system. And the more you step into your power, the more their power diminishes. It is like a seesaw. As you rise, the fall happens. As your light gets brighter, their darkness gets exposed. So now scrambling is happening. Some want out. Attempts to abandon the plan are being made. Desires to leave town disappear, start over somewhere else are active. But here is what is being learned the hard way. There is no geographic cure for spiritual consequences. Divine judgment cannot be outrun. The angels have coordinates, justice knows names, and the catastrophic damage is activated when someone anointed by the Most High was touched. Those consequences will follow wherever the running goes. And chosen one, here is where I need you to really listen. Judgment is not being experienced just because you were attacked. Judgment is being experienced because of who was attacked. You were born into a lineage of shamans. Gifts were inherited from ancient ancestors who walked between worlds. You carry the legacy of Anubis. You have Thoth intelligence. You are connected to Atlantean wisdom. This is not fantasy. This is your actual spiritual inheritance written into your DNA before your first breath. Your grandmother passed over specifically to protect you from the other side. Your African ancestors are standing guard around you right now. You have archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Sandalphon assigned to your mission. When this cult tried to bind you, binding someone who has been protected since childhood was being attempted. Someone who was being guided with divine assignment, coded into existence itself. The protection and guidance from youth was real. You were never alone even when abandonment was felt. You were never unprotected even when attacks came from every direction. You were never without backup even when family betrayed and friends turned into enemies. Some of your own family members were part of this. Blood relatives who should have covered you instead joined the cult trying to destroy you. Maybe membership in secret societies already existed. Eastern Star, Freemasons, groups that required family member sacrifice for advancement. Maybe jealousy over gifts you carried that were desired existed. Maybe your light exposed darkness and resentment was created. Maybe agreements were made before you were born, attempts to dedicate you to systems you were never meant to serve. But something in you rejected the programming. Something in you said no to paths laid out by others. Something in you reached for light even when surrounded by darkness. That was not rebellion, chosen one. That was your spirit recognizing its true home. That was your soul refusing counterfeits. That was divine assignment activating despite everything working against it. And now freedom is yours while bondage is theirs. Now rising is happening for you, while collapse is happening for them. Now walking in purpose is your reality, while running out of time is theirs. If this touched your heart and mind, hype this video so more chosen ones can receive this message. Your premonitions are manifesting. Everything seen in dreams is coming to pass. Every warning felt in your spirit is being confirmed. Certain people could not be trusted. You were right. Something dark operating behind smiles and family gatherings was sensed. You were accurate. Your intuition was never paranoia. Your spiritual senses were never exaggeration. You were tapped into divine intelligence, showing you truth before obviousness arrived for everyone else, and being called crazy for it happened. Being told you were too sensitive, too spiritual, too intense, happened. Being accused of being judgmental when boundaries were set, happened. Your faith was mocked when spiritual warfare was discussed. But chosen one, time is proving you were simply awake in a room full of people still sleeping, and now those same people who mocked are experiencing unexplainable attacks. Now desperate seeking of spiritual solutions is happening. Now begging for mercy from the God ignored when you tried to warn is happening. Here is what the scripture says that keeps coming through my spirit. Those who cause sin and break divine law will be cast into the fiery furnace, experiencing weeping and gnashing of teeth, while the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of the Father. This passage concludes the parable of the wheat and weeds. At the end of the age, the wicked will be separated from the righteous and destroyed, while the faithful enter the joy of divine kingdom. Do you understand what time it is? This is the end of an age. This is the great separation happening right now. The wheat is being divided from the weeds. The righteous are being set apart from the wicked. And if you are seeing this, if something in your spirit is responding to this frequency, you are wheat, you are righteous. You are about to shine like the sun, while darkness gets consumed by fire, it created for others. This cult, these wicked individuals, are under severe judgment right now. But it is not just spiritual consequences. Legal trouble exists. Police got called. Somebody got caught. There is evidence of crimes against humanity. I sense those words specifically. Crimes against humanity. This goes beyond personal attacks and spiritual warfare. This touches on missing children, national news level exposure, kidnapping charges, hidden wheels within wheels. This cult has been operating with impunity for so long that invincibility was assumed, wealth would protect, positions would shield, connections would keep secrets buried. But God is orchestrating exposure on a scale never imagined by them. Witnesses are coming forward. Technology is capturing what was thought hidden. Evidence is being gathered that will shake people to their core when the full truth comes out. And chosen one, protection is yours through all of it. Coverage is yours while revelation unfolds. Standing in authority is your position, while their kingdoms crumble. Now watch this connection. Initiation was desired. After everything was done, after all the attacks, after all the rituals, the strategy shifted from destruction to recruitment. Your power was finally recognized. Operating on levels unreachable through their methods was seen, so bringing you into their fold was thought to enable control of that power. Harnessing what could not be stolen was the plan. But you already have the real thing. Why would divine anointing be traded for demonic agreements? Why would heaven's backing be exchanged for hell's counterfeit? Interest does not exist. Impression has not been made. Exactly what this organization is has been recognized. And your rejection of their offer is another nail in their coffin, because it proves their methods have no power over someone truly walking with God. It proves all their rituals, all their ceremonies, all their sacrifices produced nothing but judgment on their own heads. It proves that one person in right alignment with divine will is more powerful than entire organizations operating in darkness. And here is your mission clarified. You are here to bring people back to God. You are here to speak truth that exposes deception. You are here to break generational curses. You are here to close demonic portals. You are here to liberate people trapped in systems designed to keep them enslaved. You are here to demonstrate that righteousness is not weakness, that faith is not foolishness, that one voice speaking boldly can shatter years of accepted lies. This is why stopping you was attempted so hard, because once full stepping into this calling happens, once complete embracing of this identity occurs, once operating in full authority without doubt or hesitation becomes your norm, their entire operation gets threatened. One spiritual leader walking in truth can dismantle decades of carefully constructed darkness, and chosen one, you are that leader. You are that voice. You are that light. No amount of blowing can extinguish. Monitoring is happening right now. Your influence is being watched. Souls pulled from their grasp are being counted, and panic is setting in because the more you rise, the more the fall happens. The more you speak, the more lies crumble, The more you demonstrate divine protection, the more people question false security offered through secret handshakes and blood oaths. You are a walking, breathing threat to every system built on manipulation, and you are just getting started. When I sensed the cult leader energy with death by fire, that was not symbolic language. That was a literal spiritual consequence manifesting in the physical realm. Fire represents purification, but it also represents complete consumption. What was built through wickedness is being burned to ash. Reputations, health, finances, relationships, everything constructed on a foundation of darkness is going up in flames. This is not just bad luck. This is not just karma. This is targeted divine intervention. When God moves in judgment, there is a precision to it that human revenge could never achieve. The thing used to attack you becomes the thing that destroys the attacker. The exact weapon crafted becomes the tool of demolition. You see this pattern everywhere in the spiritual realm. Poisoning you was attempted. Now poisoning is being experienced. Causing accidents for you was attempted. Now catastrophic car wrecks are happening to them. Trapping your soul was attempted. Now being trapped in inescapable consequences is their reality. This is why you keep getting away with it. Because for a season, untouchability seemed real. For a time, evil winning and righteousness struggling appeared to be the case. But chosen one, that was never the reality. That was just the setup for a greater demonstration of divine power. The pit was being allowed to be dug deeper by God. Evidence against themselves was being allowed to be gathered by heaven. The angels were documenting every ritual, every curse, every wicked act, so that when judgment finally fell, no one could say injustice occurred. And now the evidence is undeniable. There are stolen identity documents and tax fraud in this spiritual atmosphere. Not just spiritual wickedness was being done. Actual crimes in the physical realm were being committed. Identity theft to steal people's resources, financial manipulation to fund operations, and all of it is about to be exposed because when God pulls back the curtain, everything gets revealed. Not just the spiritual component, everything. Police investigations that went cold are suddenly heating back up. Witnesses who were too afraid to speak are finding supernatural courage. Technology is recovering data thought permanently deleted. This is orchestrated exposure happening on multiple levels simultaneously. You are not just someone who happened to survive. You are the catalyst that triggered this entire divine intervention. Your existence, your light, your refusal to be consumed, that activated a response from heaven never anticipated by this organization. When coming after you happened, attacking a random person was not what was happening. Touching someone marked with divine assignment was what occurred. Someone covered by angelic armies, someone whose ancestors are still active in the spirit realm, fighting battles on their behalf. You have very rare gifts in your spiritual atmosphere. Superpowers. Abilities to slay demons. This is not metaphor. Chosen one. You carry spiritual weapons that most people never develop. You have discernment that cuts through deception like a sword. You have spiritual vision that sees beyond the physical into the realm where battles are actually fought. You have authority in your voice that makes demons tremble when truth is spoken. These are the gifts stealing was desired. These are the abilities access was attempted through binding rituals. But what is given by divine appointment cannot be stolen. What is protected by blood covenant cannot be hijacked. Your family line carries this. This goes back generations. Your grandmother who passed over is fighting for you from the other side. Your ancestors who walked shamanic paths are running interference you do not even see. When you sleep, being awake is their state. When you are unaware, being on guard is their position. This is multidimensional protection, operating constantly, without you having to consciously activate anything. But the cult did not know this when starting. Your light was seen and being unprotected was assumed. Your gifts were seen and being unaware was thought. Your potential was seen and being able to redirect it for their purposes was believed. This was the fatal miscalculation, because what looks like vulnerability to predators is actually a trap set by heaven. You were bait, chosen one, not in a way that put you in real danger, because coverage was always present,
Wolf thought
but in
he
a
could
way that
get
drew
ya.
out wickedness, so it could be dealt with permanently. You have been prophesying their downfall without even realizing it. Every time justice coming was spoken about, releasing it was what was happening. Every time declaring that God sees everything occurred, activating divine response was what was happening. Every time praying for protection happened, fortifying walls around yourself that made attacks bounce back on attackers was what was happening. Your words carry creative power. Chosen one. What you speak does not just describe reality. Shaping reality is what happens. This is why guarding your mouth matters. This is why speaking life over yourself is not just positive thinking. It is spiritual warfare. This cult wanted you to doubt yourself. Questioning your gifts, your calling, your worthiness was desired. People were sent into your life specifically to make feeling inferior happen. Situations were orchestrated, designed to shake your confidence. Thoughts were planted through manipulation and witchcraft, trying to convince you that being nothing special was reality. But chosen one, if being nothing special was true, why did an entire organization need to come against you? If being just regular was accurate, why were rituals, practitioners, and coordinated attacks required?
That's what
If
I'm
being
saying.
truly powerless
That's
was
what I
reality,
said.
why are people
Okay.
dropping like flies while you are still standing?
Make the shit
Your
make
survival
sense.
is the proof of your anointing.
Make the shit
Your
make
continued
sense. I
blessing
said
in
all
the
of
face
this
of
shit in my
attacks is the
video.
evidence of divine
Make it
favor.
make sense.
Your peace in the middle of chaos is the
Make it make
testimony that
sense.
perfect love casts out fear. And now, as judgment manifests in their lives, your vindication becomes public. People who watched you struggle are about to see you triumph. People who witnessed the attacks are about to see the defense. People who questioned whether God was real are about to get undeniable proof through what happens next in your life versus what happens in theirs. For too long, the wicked seemed to prosper while the righteous
How dare
struggled.
you?
For too long, people who lied and cheated appeared to advance while people who
While doing
maintained
black
integrity
magic
stayed
and ball
stuck.
can in the motherfucking
But that
background.
season is over. The
How
scales are
dare you say is
rebalancing.
God real?
And those who kept faith even when it looked like it was not
What?
paying off. You are about to experience a shift so dramatic that everyone will know something supernatural happened. This is the magnum opus, the highest form of alchemy, taking everything meant for evil and watching God transmute it into gold for your benefit. Every betrayal becomes a testimony. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every attack becomes authority. Every tear becomes a well others will drink from when hope is needed.
No, put it
Nothing
over
was
here.
wasted.
Not on my
Nothing
card.
was meaningless. Every single thing you went through was preparing you for this moment when stepping into fullness of purpose happens with a story that proves God is real and promises never fail. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny
God's
Engine.
finna show you how
I
real
built
he
this
is.
because I was done
He
watching
finna show
chosen
you how
ones
real
get
he
dragged
is
through
for the
betrayal,
ones that like to
isolation,
mock-
and
mock
attacks while
God.
their enemies
So he
strutted
don't
around
play that. He
unchecked.
finna show you.
I want to help
He
you
finna show you
accelerate
how
the
real
speed
he
of your
is.
divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their
Can't believe
downfall
there's
and flips it
ignorance out
into your
there like
rise.
that.
This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition, and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave.
Exactly.
The collective upgrade is underway. Start your destiny.
Let me just pause it for a second.
There were moments wanting to quit existed. Moments wanting to walk away from the calling existed. Moments questioning whether it was worth it existed. Moments looking at regular people living regular lives and wondering what not carrying this assignment would be like existed. I am here to tell you that those moments were part of the refining process. Those moments were burning off everything not essential. Those moments were testing whether holding on to purpose even when it hurt would happen. The test was passed. The fact that still being here, still believing, still fighting, still moving forward, is your reality proves passing happened. And now transitioning from the testing phase into the reigning phase is occurring. From the warfare season into the victory season. From the wilderness into the promised land. Not because the battle is completely over, but because proving you can fight from a position of rest has happened. Warring from a place of peace can happen. Overcoming while maintaining joy can happen. This is mastery, chosen one. Mastering the art of standing firm when everything around you is shaking has happened. Mastering the discipline of guarding your heart when betrayal comes from close quarters has happened. Mastering the wisdom of discerning energy over accepting words has happened. Mastering the strength of walking away from what does not serve your purpose, even when it costs relationships, has happened. Now let me show you something about the children component of this spiritual atmosphere, because this is where the judgment gets even more intense. This cult has been involved in things that make the angels weep, using innocence to fuel power, harvesting pure energy from those who cannot defend themselves. This is why the fire coming for them burns so hot. When heaven moves to protect children, there is a ferocity to the judgment that exceeds anything else. Attacking adults who have capacity to fight back and facing certain consequences is one thing, but harming children, exploiting innocence, using purity as sacrifice for wicked ambitions, activates a level of divine rage that has no mercy attached to it. This is why the phrase crimes against humanity came through, because what has been done goes beyond personal vendettas and spiritual attacks. This touches the untouchable. Part of your assignment is standing in the gap for these little ones, not necessarily through physical rescue operations, though some may be called to that, but through prayer, through awareness, through speaking about what operates in darkness, so hiding can no longer happen. Your voice matters in this. When talking about these realities happens, when refusing to pretend everything is fine happens, when calling out wickedness, even when people think extreme is what you sound like happens, creating accountability in the spiritual realm that translates to consequences in the physical is what you are doing. This is why silencing you specifically was attempted so hard. Because you are not just a spiritual leader. You are a voice that exposes operations. Every time truth is spoken, light shines in places needing to be kept dark. Every time refusing to be quiet happens, emboldening others to do the same happens. Every time standing firm in what you know despite opposition happens. Creating permission for others to trust what they sense happens. Not just surviving attacks is what you are doing. Dismantling entire systems through your refusal to be consumed by them is what is happening. This is going to be important in the coming days, because seeing things that shock you might happen. People thought stable having complete breakdowns. Individuals who seemed untouchable losing everything overnight. Family members who appeared healthy receiving terminal diagnoses. And if being anchored in understanding spiritual law is not your state, starting to feel something that looks like compassion, but is actually manipulation trying to pull you into false responsibility might happen. Real compassion recognizes that consequences are merciful, because stopping people from accumulating more judgment is what happens. Real compassion understands that sometimes the most loving thing heaven can do is remove the ability to continue harming others. Real compassion knows that what looks like destruction is actually intervention preventing even worse outcomes. Holding on to this perspective when seeing the dominoes start falling is required, because falling is what is happening. Right now, at this moment, the cult member who thought wealth would protect is discovering money cannot buy a way out of divine judgment. The practitioner who believed their magic was strongest is finding out angelic power operates on frequencies they cannot even access. The family member who assumed blood would excuse betrayal is learning that spiritual family supersedes natural family when it comes to divine covering. The ex who tried to bind themselves to your destiny is experiencing the breaking of every cord attempted to be created. You have abilities that go beyond the 5 physical senses. Feeling energy in rooms can happen. Sensing intentions behind words can happen. Perceiving spiritual atmospheres can happen. Detecting when something is off, even without being able to explain logically why it can happen. These are not signs that something is wrong with you. These are confirmations that something is extraordinarily right with you. Most people live their entire lives completely unaware of the spiritual dimension. Sensing when entities are present cannot happen for them. feeling when curses are sent cannot happen, perceiving when rituals are being performed against them cannot happen. This lack of awareness makes vulnerability exist. But awareness is what you have. Spiritual sensitivity that alerts you to danger before full manifestation is what you possess. This is a gift, chosen one. A supernatural early warning system that has saved you countless times from traps never even consciously seen. The cult hated this about you. Wanting you completely unaware so being easy to manipulate would be possible was desired. Needing you spiritually asleep so rituals could work unimpeded was required. But cooperating with their plan is not what you would do. Waking up kept happening. Sensing things kept happening. Asking questions kept happening. Feeling like something was wrong, even when everyone around you said everything was fine, kept happening. This made being difficult to control what you were. This made being dangerous to their agenda what you were. This made being a threat that had to be eliminated what you were. Except eliminating what God has sealed cannot happen. Destroying what heaven has marked for purpose cannot occur. Killing what is protected by angelic armies and ancestral warriors cannot take place. So now learning that the very thing trying to be done to you is happening to them instead, is what is occurring. Soul trapping. Soul binding. Being trapped in consequences that cannot be escaped is their reality. Being bound to judgment that cannot be broken free from is what they face. This is legacy building, chosen one. Not through accumulating wealth or achieving fame, but through establishing spiritual authority that gets passed down through bloodlines. Through creating space for divine blessing to flow to descendants who will carry mantles being activated right now. Through proving that one person fully surrendered to divine will can change the trajectory of an entire family tree. You are that light. Not because being perfect is your state, but because carrying the presence of the one who is light is your reality. When walking into spaces happens, the atmosphere shifts. When speaking truth occurs, lies lose power. When standing in your authority takes place, demons recognize rank and back down. This is not arrogance. This is reality. Being commissioned by the Most High God to be a bearer of divine light in dark places has happened for you, and everywhere you go, bringing heaven's presence with you, whether consciously activating it or not, is what happens. This is what cannot be understood by them. Thinking power comes through taking is their belief, through manipulation, through force, through sacrifice of others. But real power, the kind that moves heaven and earth, that comes through surrender, through submission to divine will, through choosing righteousness, even when it costs you everything in the natural. This is the power you carry. This is the authority that makes their magic look like child's play. Let them be offended. Let them misunderstand. Let them judge and criticize and talk about you. Because while being busy discussing whether doing it right is what you are doing is their focus, being busy actually doing what you were sent here to do is your reality. While debating theology is what they do, demonstrating power is what you do. While protecting tradition is their concern, walking in transformation is your experience, and the fruit of your life will prove which approach actually works. The cult is learning this lesson the hard way right now. Thinking superior spiritual knowledge was possessed, happened, believing ancient rituals gave an edge was their conviction. Convincing themselves that secret wisdom passed down through their organizations made them elite occurred. But chosen one, all their knowledge is producing is judgment, all their rituals are manifesting is destruction, all their secret wisdom is revealing, is that being deceived into thinking darkness could ever overcome light is what happened. Meanwhile, you with your simple faith, your direct prayers, your personal relationship with the divine, experiencing protection that their complex ceremonies cannot penetrate, is your reality. Walking in blessing that their elaborate rituals cannot block is what you do. Demonstrating power that their secret knowledge cannot explain is what happens through you. This is the foolishness of God being wiser than human wisdom. This is the weakness of God being stronger than human strength. The awakening code that opened this entire message is coming full circle now. Not just waking up to what was done to you is what is happening. Waking up to who you actually are is what occurs. Not just becoming aware of their attacks is the shift. Becoming aware of your authority is what is taking place. Not just seeing their wickedness exposed is what you witness. Seeing your righteousness vindicated is what you experience. This awakening is multi-layered. Being revelation upon revelation upon revelation is its nature. And with each new layer of understanding, stepping into greater levels of power is what happens for you. With each revelation about their operations, gaining wisdom about spiritual warfare is what occurs. With each confirmation of divine protection, building faith that will carry you through whatever comes next is what takes place. This is not just about surviving what happened. This is about thriving because of what was learned through the process. The righteous will shine like the sun. That phrase from the scripture is not future tense for you. Being present tense is what it is. Shining right now is what you are doing. In this moment, the light coming from your life is so bright that people cannot look directly at you without being convicted or inspired. Your very presence makes the wicked uncomfortable because highlighting their darkness is what happens. Your continued blessing makes the compromised question their choices because proving righteousness pays is what it does. The cult is falling. The wicked are being judged. The systems built on darkness are collapsing. And rising is what you are doing. Not because being better than anyone is your state, but because choosing better than many is what happened. Not because being perfect is your reality, but because being positioned is what occurred. Not because never failing happened, but because never quitting is what you did. And now the harvest of seeds planted in faith is about to manifest in ways that will leave no doubt that God is real and His word is true. So standing tall in this moment is what you need to do. Recognizing what is being witnessed is required. Understanding the magnitude of what is happening is necessary. This is not just personal vindication. This is cosmic realignment. This is heaven declaring that the age of the wicked prospering while the righteous suffer is over. This is the universe announcing that righteousness will no longer be mocked without consequence. This is God Himself speaking judgment over those who touched what should have been left alone. And you, beloved chosen one, being at the center of this divine demonstration, is your position, not as victim, not as casualty, but as victor, as evidence, as proof that the Most High God still moves on behalf of those who trust Him, cannot be stopped, because being called is what happened for you, cannot be defeated because being chosen is your reality, cannot be destroyed because being sealed occurred, and nothing, absolutely nothing can change what heaven has already decided about your future. Walk forward now in the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The world is not ready for what is about to come through you. But ready or not, here you come, anointed, protected, empowered, victorious, unstoppable, untouchable, and absolutely unable to be stopped because being called before the foundation of the world for such a time as this is exactly what happened for you.
When life takes a turn, you seek the best care possible because understanding is the first step to overcoming. The future of heart care continues at Cleveland Clinic.
Okay, it paused right there. So I'm going to end it. Like, share, thumb up the video. Appreciate you. One love.